Hey, by the ACV, I'll be checking out 9 wrestlers WWE has benched from What Culture Wrestling. Okay, let's go.
Ah, boy, here we go. Why do people have to say things? But yes, somehow a big recent conversation was about wrestling companies and who's being benched and who's not being benched. Then it took one step further with fans going, wait a minute, maybe some people are suffering. Now, given that we never know the ins and outs, what's going behind the scenes in a wrestling promotion, I'm going to change this to wrestlers that have fallen into the phantom zone. That way, hopefully we can just tread carefully. But I am Simon Miller, and sure, here are some sports entertainees that we don't really know where they are. Number 9, Omos. Now, I really like Omos. I have been able to chat to him a couple of times on a human-to-human level, although not an eye-to-eye level, because he's massive and he's just a super good guy, and that is more important than any of this. It's also been such a weird year for the 7+ foot man, because he got sent to Japan, where he had a really fun tag team in Noah with Jack Morris, when he got called back to WWE, and everyone thought, oh, they've seen something in this, and he's going to be used again. And as I stand here, we still have not seen him. Now, most assumed the reason he had gotten a call to come back to the United States of America is because he would be involved in the WrestleMania Battle Royal, but he just wasn't. I actually do think the last time he did walk out onto television was during the 2024 Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. So what the flub is happening? But at the very least, he should be brought in as a special attraction here and there. Because if you needed somebody that had to get squashed and almost walked out, no matter you're a hardcore fan or whether you're a casual fan, we would all go, yep, that makes perfect sense, I get it. So I guess it's one of those we'll just have to wait and see, but it is an oddity. Like, again, even if you only wrestled 4 matches a year, I think it would probably work. Number 8, Brinley Reese. In late 2023, Brinley Reese did indeed make a somewhat surprise debut in the then NXT Women's Breakout Tournament. And I remember this, because when they told us her name's Brinley Reese, I was like, man, all these NXT names are starting to sound so similar, and I can't tell any of them apart when I read it down on paper. I kind of need to call one of them like Roxel Bandana. Don't know where that came from, but it would work. Throughout 2024, she also had plenty of matches with notable names like Wendy Chu and Sol Ruka and Kalani James, and admittedly, she did lose all of those, but at least she was being featured. The real joy, though, was her upbeat personality and upbeat character, because she was a bit like, shucks, I'll get him next time. And let's face it, it was perfectly designed for NXT. The issue is, from this point, she kind of came, and then she went, and then she had a random match against Izzy Dame or Zarya, then all of a sudden popped up at TNA fighting Ash by Elegance, but in terms of consistency, well, it wasn't there. Now it kind of feels like Reese may have found a brand new home in Evolve, and I do understand this. If the powers that be are still seeing her as a developmental talent, you don't want to give her too much too soon, but at the same time, you don't want to feature her and then take her away again, because it just creates a little bit of a messy situation. I mean, massively, you don't want to get lost in the shuffle, especially because the turnaround in NXT is pretty high. So I'm just going to keep my fingers crossed this one does work out. I quite like it. Number 7, Shinsuke Nakamura. Benched is not the right word here, but used in a very specific way definitely is. I do understand why the chat heads in that direction, though, because when Shinsuke did win that United States Championship in late 2024, we were all like, wait a minute, what is going on? And then he lost it before he vanished from TV again. So I really don't even know what the point of that was. And these days, Nakamura is the dude you bring in to take the pin. I remember all those Money in the Bank qualifier matches. Who was the third guy who had to take the 1, 2, 3? Well, it was Shinsuke Nakamura. If you didn't work that out already, you're not listening. The thing is, though, he does have this mad legacy. And also, if he is happy being used this way, and he's not got a problem with it, well, I kind of go shrug emoji, good for him. So sure, it's fair to say that his WWE ride from day one has been a little bit strange. But if you need a reminder, go back and watch all those things he did in New Japan. That bro was basically killing himself. So if he has had a little bit of a holiday under the WWE banner and nobody actually cares, then I say more power to the man. His body probably really hurt. At the same time, sure, it's been very, very bizarre. Number 6, Carly Bright. So I think this one is more of a work in progress situation where we gave Carly Bright some exposure and then we reeled her back in a little bit so she didn't get overexposed, which is a silly thing for me to say. But this goes back to what we were just talking about. You can't do this too much, it gets confused. This meant when Bright did first show up on the NXT Level Up show, that was just a joy. Fans were like, oh, I'm a little bit interested. I mean, the cheerleader turned wrestler was doing this back in January 2024, and she did kind of feel like a personality that would be leading the charge when the brand new recruits got brought into NXT, because as we've already talked about, the turnaround is quite high. The thing is, though, from that point, we didn't do much with her. I mean, she was in that tag team with Kendall Gray for a little bit, but but that petered out too. I mean, currently we are at 43 matches over the last 2 years, which I suppose could tie into a bigger conversation we need to have about pro wrestling. The death of house shows also means getting experience when you are brand new is super hard. It also definitely triggered the whole conversation about WWE's developmental system, but now we are starting to sound like a broken record. Can you introduce someone and then put them back behind the scenes without the fans getting a little bit like, I don't know what's going on here? I mean, answers on a postcard or drop them in the comment below. I do get that as well, because out of sight, out of mind is huge in the world of pro wrestling. So this one is most definitely a wait and see. I hope we don't drop the ball and we give her a proper opportunity, because there's definitely something there. Number 5, Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate. So this one most definitely needs a caveat. As soon as Tyler Bate did return during WWE's European tour, tag team partner Pete Dunne had some proper fun, exciting, important news. He was going to be a dad again. Now let's just get this out of the way right away. It is awesome that wrestlers are now allowed to go home and enjoy their parenthood as opposed to being on the road the very next day. But I also think it's fair to say maybe WWE could have planned this out a little bit better, because it meant Tyler was also gone from TV and Mr. Bate had only just returned. I think one of the reasons people wanted to discuss this too is when you tie it into a tag team like the War Raiders, because when one of those guys wasn't able to be on TV, the other one got pushed as a single star. So why didn't we do this with Tyler Bate? It's also a bit funny that he would walk out and go, oh, I'm back, I'm home, and then we didn't see him again. It goes back to this whole idea about consistency being the key, but listen, eventually Peter is going to be back, which means Tyler will be back too, and whether we put them on the SmackDown Tag Team Division or in the Raw Tag Team Division, we need new bodies, so this is only going to help either show. I guess we just need to be a little bit patient, but in the meantime, if Tyler Bate could have some singles matches, that would be good. Number 4, Edris and Oopie and Malik Blade. So this one is a little bit strange before we do get into the nitty gritty, but at one point these two were an absolute breakout tag team in the NXT scene, and I think most of us are like, yep, they'll be called up to the main roster soon. It also reminded you about the best thing when it comes to NXT, which is seeing people improve in front of your eyes, when 2023 and 2024 were not kind to either of these guys, because they both went and got injured. And Oopie especially really hurt his shoulder to the point he needed surgery, and as far as we do know, he got the green light in February 2025, but then it was Blade who was dealing with pain. He'd hurt his knee. It just means that if NXT management only wants to portray them as a tag team, the other guy has to wait for the other guy, then that guy has to wait for the other guy, and yes, we'll talk about the War Raiders again. You could put one of these on the screen as a singles competitor, but it's kind of harder in NXT because it seems like there are specific plans and specific focuses. So once again, it all comes down to momentum, and I really hope these guys can be 100% healthy at the same time. They ain't gonna lose the power they had in their feet. They just need a chance to do it again. Number 3, Nikita Lions. So this is another one where you have to mention injuries, because Nikita Lions had a terrible couple of years. I mean, she suffered one injury when she came back, and then she hurt a leg too, and she had to go away again. Can you imagine how hard that is mentally? Sometimes we need to think about the human side. That's why I don't think the word benched is the right word, because you have to give her some time. But yes, I'll hold my hands up and say, ever since she has returned, it does kind of feel like we're being a little bit more patient, because before the injury, she was being pushed like a megastar. I mean, maybe the NXT bigwigs are still trying to figure this out, because we did see Nikita on Evolve, and recently, she was even on TNA. Bless this woman, she managed to blow up the internet again. Her movements are so damn funny in the best way possible. I think Nikita Lions is great. It's why I don't want to get too carried away, because now it feels like we're in the phase 3 part of the phase. Shouldn't have said it like that. You know what I'm talking about. There is certainly more we can do here, but if somebody has just come back from 2 major injuries, we can be patient and we can slow down. I mean, for goodness sake, we don't want her to suffer a third. I do think all of this gets blown up because for some reason Nikita takes some horrible shots from the online audience, but she keeps knocking them down, man. And I think this is one that's going to come good. Number 2, the Wyatt Six. So this one is just weird. Now, yes, for most of 2024 and for 2025, it certainly sounded like Bo Dallas was injured, so everybody was right, listen, we want to make sure the group is a group, and we don't want them to appear on TV unless they're all together. We're just going to hit pause for a little bit. The thing is, though, given that they are spooky wooky, surely they could have been involved in storylines. And look at somebody like Alexa Bliss. Everybody was saying, oh, she's going to team up with the Wyatt Six. But now it kind of feels like she's going to do something with Charlotte Flair. So let's use the word on the day. I think WWE has pivoted. I also don't understand why some of the members couldn't have been used elsewhere. I mean, take Nikki Cross. She is a super duper good worker. You could have thrown her into the women's division, and you even could have had her feud with Alexa. That would have made all the sense. And once again, I understand that WWE was always going to use them sparingly, but given the debut they had a year or so ago, you think we would have wanted to keep the momentum up. And now, if you started watching wrestling the last 6 months, you probably don't even know they exist. So it's certainly one to keep an eye on. I have absolutely no idea. I mean, they weren't taken off TV, again, because of injuries, so it doesn't feel like they are benched. But why is it taking so long? Especially because they are super duper whooper popular. This one is 2 + 2 = potato. I don't get it. Number 1, Kendall Gray. I mean, we mentioned her a few entries ago. Now we got to get into it. Now, the cool thing about Kendall Gray is that she became a professional wrestler after being an awesome amateur one. And then in 2024 and so far 2025, well, we've not done much. Now, yes, as already touched upon, her debut did come down on NXT Level Up in March 2024 when she teamed with Carly Bright. Damn it, they lost. By August, she was on the NXT main show, though, and she got involved in that women's gauntlet, and she beat Brinley Reese before she too got eliminated. But I was like, all right, well, there's a feud we can do. And we didn't. A WWE must have been keen because at the Great American Bash, she was taking on Jada Parker, and we know that WWE is high on Jada. So even though it was clear she was going to lose here, it felt like this could be a stepping off point too. Let's just say it again. It wasn't. And there was interference from Miles Bourne in that match, so you could make the argument she was being protected when she went back to teaming with Bright, and I do believe they beat Kel Armstrong and Danny Palmer. And all of a sudden, she was moved to Evolve. So once again, it ties into getting more experience and getting it wherever you do care. But it's become such a roller coaster ride. If you are a fan, well, it's just a little bit hard to keep up. The good news is that she has shown a lot of potential, so hopefully we can get her fixated in a program soon. But listen, I scoured the internet, and this was the name that kept coming up. So now I've given you the goods. I don't know what that means. Now I'm sure you have a bunch of other names you want to talk about, and hell, do it for all the companies for all I care in the comments below. But more importantly, like the video, share the video, and subscribe, and click the video on the screen as you learn more about professional wrestling. Otherwise, my friends, I appreciate...
Yeah, good video by What Culture Wrestling. Don't forget to like and subscribe.